King Jaja of Opobo, the merchant king of the Niger Delta. King Jaja of Opobo, originally named Jubo Juboga, was one of the most remarkable figures in 19th century West Africa. Born in the Igbo heartland of southeastern Nigeria around 1821, he rose from humble and adverse beginnings to become a powerful merchant king and a key figure in the Niger Delta's economic and political history. His life embodies resilience, entrepreneurship, and resistance against colonial exploitation. Early life and enslavement. Jaja was born into a rural Igbo community and spent his early years in Amegbo, in modern Imo State. At the age of 12, he was captured and sold into slavery during the era of the transatlantic slave trade. He eventually ended up in the city-state of Bani, a major trading hub in the Niger Delta known for its involvement in the palm oil trade following the abolition of the transatlantic slave trade. While in Bani, Jaja was sold to the Ana People House, one of the major trading houses. He exhibited intelligence, determination, and a shrewd business mind, quickly gaining the trust and favor of his master. Despite being a slave, Jaja ascended through the ranks, eventually gaining his freedom and becoming head of the Ana People House, a remarkable feat for someone of his background. Rise to power in Bani. As head of the Ana People House, Jaja controlled significant trade networks in the palm oil trade, which had become the primary export commodity from the Niger Delta. The British, who dominated the region's trade, relied on intermediaries like Jaja to source palm oil from the hinterlands. Jaja's entrepreneurial acumen allowed him to expand his trading operations, amassing considerable wealth and influence. However, Jaja's rise also brought him into conflict with other powerful trading houses in Bani, particularly the Manila People House. The competition for dominance over the trade routes and influence within Bani created tensions. When a leadership dispute arose in the city, Jaja and his followers split from Bani around 1869 and established a new city-state, Opobo. Founding of the Opobo Kingdom. Jaja's new kingdom, named Opobo after an ancestral deity of the Ibani people, was strategically located at the mouth of the Imo River. This position allowed him to control access to the palm oil trade routes leading into the Niger Delta hinterland. By bypassing Bani and establishing direct trade links with British merchants, Jaja disrupted the established trade dynamics, further consolidating his economic power. As the king of Opobo, Jaja took on both political and commercial leadership roles. He established a well-organized administration, negotiated directly with European traders, and implemented policies that ensured the wealth generated from palm oil trade stayed within his kingdom. Under his leadership, Opobo flourished, becoming a significant economic force in the region. Diplomacy and resistance to colonial intrusion. Jaja's success inevitably attracted the attention of British colonial authorities, who sought to extend their influence over the Niger Delta. The British were keen to implement a policy of legitimate trade, which aimed to bypass African middlemen like Jaja in favor of direct dealings with palm oil producers in the hinterland. Jaja resisted these efforts, asserting his right to control trade within his territory. In 1873, Jaja traveled to Britain at the invitation of Queen Victoria. During his visit, he negotiated trade agreements and demonstrated his diplomatic skills. While he impressed British officials, tensions between Jaja and the colonial authorities persisted. The Berlin Conference of 1884 to 1885, which formalized European colonization of Africa, marked a turning point for Jaja and Opobo. The British intensified their efforts to dominate the Niger Delta, and Jaja's insistence on maintaining his independence became a significant obstacle to their ambitions. His refusal to allow British traders unrestricted access to Opobo's trade routes brought him into direct conflict with colonial administrators. Exile and decline. In 1887, British Consul Harry Johnston accused Jaja of obstructing free trade and summoned him under false pretenses to a meeting aboard a British warship. Jaja was arrested and charged with high treason for allegedly hindering British economic interests. After a sham trial, he was exiled to the Caribbean island of St. Vincent. Jaja's exile was a devastating blow to the Opobo kingdom. Without his leadership, Opobo struggled to maintain its economic dominance when British traders gained the access they had long desired. Despite protests from his people and African allies, Jaja remained in exile for several years. In 1891, following widespread appeals for his release, Jaja was allowed to return to Opobo. However, he died en route, reportedly from poisoning, under mysterious circumstances. His death marked the end of an era for Opobo and the wider Niger Delta. Legacy and impact. King Jaja's legacy is one of resilience, ingenuity, and resistance. As a former slave who rose to become a king, he defied social and economic barriers, demonstrating the potential for African agency during a period of intense colonial exploitation. His ability to navigate complex trade networks, build alliances, and assert political authority made him a symbol of African self-determination. Today, Jaja is remembered as a hero in Nigeria and beyond. His story highlights the impact of African leaders who resisted colonial encroachment and preserved their sovereignty, even in the face of overwhelming challenges. The Opobo kingdom, though diminished, remains a testament to Jaja's vision and leadership. Conclusion. King Jaja of Opobo's life is a remarkable story of triumph over adversity, strategic brilliance, and steadfast resistance to colonial domination. His achievements as a merchant king and political leader underscore the complexity of African responses to European imperialism. In celebrating his legacy, we honor a leader who sought to protect his people's rights and resources while navigating the turbulent currents of 19th-century geopolitics.